Okay guys, I'm back. It's the moment of truth. Hopefully the final video on the Boy Scout Axe. So it's been a long time coming. Things have come up. I've had to push it back. But I've got everything I think I need in order to finish this project. And I'm going to go for it. So what we're going to do first is select a wedge. I have a couple of different wedges we can use. So I'm not really sure what type of wood they all are, unfortunately, but you know, it's my first hang. We're not going to worry about that detail too terribly much. And I've got some flaxseed oil. It's organic flaxseed oil or linseed oil that's not treated with lead or any other toxic chemicals. So I finally got that in. I've got a hammer. We're pretty much, I think, ready to go. I'm going to select a wedge, coat it with the oil, get some oil down into the wood here at the top, into the eye, try and slick that up so I can really get that wedge seated really well. And then once we've got it seated and just a little bit mushroom over the top, we'll go ahead and trim it as needed with the new saw I picked up. So stoked to try that out, and let's just get to it. Let me go ahead and bring you on in a little closer here, and we'll take a look at these wedges. Okay, here we are at the bench here, and I've got a few different wedges. I don't know what types of wood they are. I think this one came with this, no, not with this head or this handle. Came with the first handle. So this one came with that first handle that we tried out, and it didn't really didn't work very well. It's crooked and the grain isn't great. Actually, the grain was okay on this one. It's just really crooked and bent, and it didn't fill the eye. So it's good practice with the rasp. So I've got that wedge. It's about the same size as the neck on this handle, and I kind of like that the grain is going sort of down. I prefer straight down, and this one seems to go straight down. I have no idea what type of wood this is. This came with my larger 18-inch handle, which I haven't found an axe for yet. And I don't know why it came with this one, because it doesn't fit it. It doesn't even fill the whole neck. So it'd be a great option to bring over to this handle. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's those wedges. And then I originally didn't know, when I bought that 18-inch, I didn't know that it came with a wedge. And I ordered a wedge kit, which comes with some of these step wedges as well. I doubt I will use those. But this one is a little bit more full size and fits a lot more axes. I'd have to trim this one down a little bit to fit. Now it would probably be the best fit of all of them, I think. You know, actually I think this one will do, and if this one will do, I can save this one for when I do put a head on that 18-inch handle. So I think that's my plan. Throw those aside. We'll stick with this wedge. I like the grain on it, and I like the fit, or at least the size. I don't really need to trim it. It's going to just go in there nice and good. So I've got the lid from that tray I used when I did the Japanese hatchet in the vinegar bath. Those things come with a lid. I'm going to use that lid to kind of keep my workspace clear here as I apply the flaxseed oil. And we'll go ahead and put it on the wedge first, kind of get that nice and soaked. Oh wow, that really shot out of there. That's exactly why I wanted the tray. Okay, so just rub that around on the wedge, get it nice and oiled up. I'm going to leave it there, see if it'll soak some up into the wedge through the grain there. I'm going to grab the handle, put some on the handle. I wasn't planning to do this right now, but since my hands are all dirty and I got to handle it, I don't want an uneven coat. So we'll go ahead and put that in. It's going to start to dry into that wood because it's really dry wood. And actually you can see that flaxseed oil, linseed oil really brings out the grain in the wood, looks really nice. So I was happy with that grain as it was, but it really richens up the color really nice. So I'm going to go ahead and just grab some with my fingers here, get it all on the top there. We'll wipe it off of the head, the actual metal head, once we're done here. Let's see if I can just set that in there, soak a little into it. There we go. Some more on the handle itself. Really try to get it up there in the creases. Wipe it down. Hopefully this doesn't make my hands too slick. I got some paper towels I can wipe my hands on as we get going. Let's actually just try to carefully squirt a tiny bit. Whoa. This thing is really hard to control. Wow. Okay. Well, we got it in there, and let's try to fit this wedge. So I'm just going to tap it in there with a hammer. My hand is totally messy. It's I should have torn off some of these paper towels ahead of time. I did not expect myself to make quite such a mess with this. That's also why I wanted the non-toxic linseed oil. Now this stuff is kind of an experiment. When I read the description of it, I bought it online, of course, and that was a mistake probably. But cold pressed, unrefined, no solvents. I thought, okay, that's what I'm looking for. Maybe that's the only description I had. I don't know. But it does contain other ingredients, not just flaxseed oil, which is probably why it costs less. But there's a few other ingredients in there. I don't think any of them are going to be harmful to the wood or to the project here. It should all be good for it. Okay, let's pull out my old hammer here and try this one more time. Just try to get that seated there. There we go. Now I'm trying to hammer it down pretty even if I can. Keep it tilted forward. That wedge is actually splitting a little bit. I don't know if that's good. Okay, it's starting to mushroom out. See if I can get it just a little lower. Okay, and it is mushrooming at the head. I hope it's even split that neck a little bit right there. Maybe I went too far. I think it's pretty well set. I got a tiny little gap here at the top, but I don't think that'll be a problem because it's pretty well filled inside the head. It's just a little bit of a gap at the very top. Okay, I got linseed oil everywhere. Let's try to wipe it down. clean it up a little bit. So with the linseed oil, what you want to do is basically apply it until it won't soak up anymore, which I've kind of accidentally done already. I thought we'd kind of focus on that more later, but since I had it on my hands, I started wiping it on the wood here of the handle, and it won't soak up anymore. So then we're going to let it dry, and once it dries, we'll hit it with a little linseed oil again, see if it'll soak it up, and just keep doing that until I can't get it to soak up anymore. That's going to give it a nice rich color, bring out the grain, and it's going to protect that wood, which will be really good for the tool long term. So, okay, I'm not happy with this crack here, and I don't know. Axe junkies, chime in if you're watching. Let me know if that's a problem and if I end up needing to rehang this thing. I think it's going to be okay, but I don't really know much about this stuff. I'm just starting. But now I'm going to try and trim that down. I was going to trim it proud, meaning it would stick up just a tad from the head itself. But I think I'm going to actually trim it pretty close instead, since I cracked it there. It should still, with the wedge, still hold it in pretty well. So let's try that. And I actually picked up a new saw for that. I have a bandsaw, manual handheld bandsaw, but it's really meant for cutting down trees and large limbs, stuff like that. It's not a very fine tooth at all, nowhere close. So I got a little bit finer tooth, sort of a Japanese style saw here. It's got large tooth on one side, very fine tooth on the other side, and that's what I'm wanting to use, is that really fine tooth there. And so we'll just go ahead and, oh, you probably didn't notice, maybe you did, there's some bolts here, some carriage bolts. I've got this thing totally locked in now, where I can actually use this. And I'm just going to snug that on there. Hopefully that's all right. I do have kind of a softer wood here. I'm not sure what, I think it's a plywood, some kind. It's old and it's fairly soft, so I think it'll hold that okay without damaging it. I guess let's back it out a little bit. Yeah, looks totally fine. So just snug that on there so it's not moving on me. And here we go. I'm just going to go ahead and rest it on the head itself and just trim that sucker off. And it looks like this thing's going to make a lot of extra noise. I'm going to move that off the table. Really let the saw do the work here. Here comes that first piece of that wedge. Looks like the first piece of the handle fell off too, where it split. Just keep going with the saw here. Hopefully we're getting a nice smooth cut. It looks fairly smooth from what I can see so far. And I keep binding up. Man, I don't have a lot of experience at this. This is looking pretty silly. Here we go. Let's try to do it at more of an angle here. Maybe that's easier on the saw. Now I'm getting my groove. I guess I don't have it in tight enough because it just moved on me, but I've got a hold on it. There we go. Nice and smooth. Trim that down. Okay. Bring our oil back here, get a little on my finger. Just rub that into the grain here. Try and clean out these saw teeth a little bit. Hang that back up. Okay. Here we go. I think I am pretty happy with that. And yeah, no damage to the handle itself from being stuck in the vise there. Move that extra linseed oil off the metal here. I don't think it should have any negative effect on the metal. A little extra oil shouldn't hurt it, I would think. We'll see. If it gets a little grody, then I'll come back and clean it up. But so there we go. And the crack in the wedge, you can't even see it. It's so tight in there. Hope I'm not holding it up high enough. Can't even see that crack, so I think that's going to be okay. And it should hold in there all right. You can see the grain. That looks really nice. Got a little bit of tooling mark down there. Maybe I'll sand that down and oil that up a little bit. But yeah, pretty happy with this. Let's do that. Let's try and clean up this handle just a little bit on the end. I think that might actually be some of the lacquer or whatever it was that was on here. Okay, that oil has already really penetrated that wood really well. Let's put a little more on there now that we stripped it down a little bit. Okay. I like that. I like that a lot. Actually, I think it looks better not being proud on the top. Just a little bit of a edge there. There we go. See if we can get it to soak up any more of that linseed oil into the grain there at the end. I'm just rubbing the metal down. Okay, so that is the Boy Scouts of America Genuine Plum Scout Hatchet. I inherited this from my grandfather, and it's a really neat little scout hatchet, and we're pretty much done. I got to sharpen up the edge there, tune that up. You can see it's a little bit worn there on the edge. Keep it in focus. But overall, once that's tuned up, it should be a really great little axe. And I can't wait to take it on a little adventure of some kind. I did decide to keep the mushrooming. You can see that there. I think Grandpa must have used it quite a bit to hammer all kinds of things. He's really mushroomed it out pretty good. So I kind of like it. It adds a little character to it. Same with the pitting and the patina. I really like that a lot. I don't want to clean it up like new. I like it looking aged. So there we go. That wood is much darker. Oh, stay in focus. There it is. It's hard to, I got to keep it right in the center to stay in focus, it looks like. Might need to adjust some settings. The grain is excellent on this handle. This was the Task 14-inch handle. You want that grain pattern to go straight through the wood so that all the force is not against the grain. You don't have to worry about it snapping and splitting apart. So that's really great. And I'm really happy with how this has turned out. This whole project has been a lot of fun. And that pretty much covers it. So thanks for watching. If you're not subscribed, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. That really helps me out. Once I get up to 100 subscribers, then I'll be able to customize my YouTube address so that it's a lot easier to share it and find it. Really looking forward to being able to do that, and your guys' help by subscribing makes that possible. So I would really appreciate that. Also, follow me over on facebook.com/5012design to keep up with other things that are going on with the channel, as well as get notifications when I'm doing live streams, stuff like that. All of that's broadcast on that channel, and the live streams are generally done through either Facebook or through Twitch. So my Twitch link will always be posted there whenever I'm doing a video, so you can watch that when I'm doing artwork and stuff like that. But that pretty much covers it. Thanks for watching again, and have a great day.
Feels like I'm shooting for the moon, with my darling at my side, and I've been making room in my heart for you tonight.